introduce to you Professor Stephen Hawking. In your handouts, you'll find a very elaborate introduction, and you will find very interesting elements in it. As a distinguished educator, researcher, and public communicator, Stephen Hawking has had a transforming effect in his area and indeed in all of science. We are deeply appreciative of his commitment to be with us and to share his views of the importance of applying technology to disabled persons. Professor Stephen Hawking.
Can you hear me? Technology has transformed the outlook for the disabled. People like me can now move around independently, and they can communicate. The fact that you are listening to me now shows what technology can do, even if it does give me a Scandinavian or American accent. The main problem of communicating for people like me who can't speak is what is called the baud rate. That is, the rate at which information can be conveyed. Normal speech is between 120 and 180 words a minute. By contrast, a reasonable typist can do 40 to 60 words a minute. Thus, if one were to equip normal people with keyboards, they could communicate at between half and a quarter of the speech rate. However, many people who can't speak also have other disabilities, like me, and can't use a keyboard. Instead, they have to use one or more switches, operated by head or hand movement. This is where the information flow problem really confronts one. One might be able to operate a switch 2 or 3 times a second. This would mean that one could send information at a rate of 2 or 3 bits a second. One bit of information is the answer to a yes-no question. By contrast, if you take an average word to be about 5 characters, and you assume that any character can follow any other character, normal speech has an information flow rate of between 50 and 75 bits a second. However, the real information flow in human speech is much less than this. In the case of political speeches, it is practically zero. This is because spelling out a sentence, letter by letter, is inefficient. Most sequences of letters don't make recognizable words, let alone meaningful sentences. So there's a lot of redundancy in specifying every letter. It is much more efficient to tip words, or even whole phrases, from a list of likely ones. In the occasional cases that the words or phrases don't appear on the list, one can always resort to spelling them out, letter by letter. To translate the presses of a switch into letters, words, or sentences requires computers. The development of microprocessors in the last